Do you feel stress or shame during the holidays, especially around food and your health? Well, in today's episode, I want to help you eliminate shame, eliminate stress so that you can enjoy the holidays and make every moment an incredibly joyful moment.
Let's go. You are incredible. Your body has a purpose. Your life has a purpose. You were designed to live the best life possible.
Mic check. Mic sound okay? Camera 1 good? Camera 2 good? All right, here we go.
What's going on, my beautiful people? Welcome back to another episode. You are tuned in to listen. You're not defeated. And I'm your host, David Hernandez. With every episode, I want to help you live a life of freedom through health in a simple, smart, and sustainable way. If you are watching on YouTube, through my YouTube channel, and you haven't already subscribed, I want to invite you to subscribe. You can do that by clicking the subscribe button. And I also encourage you to click the little bell so you can get all the notifications of our up and coming episodes. And if you're listening to me on your favorite podcast channel, click the follow button so you don't miss an episode. We have just made it through Thanksgiving. It's incredible, right? We look at time and we can question where the heck has it gone. But in this season, being the holiday season, we talked about in last week's episode, we talked about how to maneuver our food choices during the holiday season. And look, we've made it through Thanksgiving. And oftentimes, as we're going through the holidays, from one holiday to the next, in that, there is a lot of feelings that can kind of arise, especially if we look at Thanksgiving and maybe we realize that we probably didn't make all the best choices that we wanted in regards to food or even in regards to our health. And this is something I want to talk about today because during the holiday season, oftentimes there's a lot of shame involved. There's a lot of embarrassment. There's a lot of guilt. There's maybe stress that's coming up because of all that's happening, right? You got to get the gifts. You have to prepare food. You have to meet with family and friends and maybe be around people that you haven't been around or don't want to be around, don't like, or maybe those that you love are far away. And in that, there's a lot of emotions that can come up. And when we're in this state of emotions, our choices sometimes are not always going to be the best choices when we're talking about food and health. Typically during this holiday season is when people kind of just say, screw it. They give up on their health process. They give up on their fitness journey. They give up on their goals. They say, okay, we're coming to the end of the year. Just screw it. And let's just anticipate and wait for the New Year's, right? Which is why a lot of people start to make New Year's resolutions, and health and fitness to release weight or build muscle or to just live a healthy life tends to be the number one resolution on people's lists. But I want to really deep dive on how to eliminate stress and shame. Because when we're stuck in this place, when we're trapped in this conscious state, it ends up magnifying and making our choices literally be in line with that simply produce stronger destructive feelings. So shame is one of those. Because when we look at how we typically eat during the holidays, well, there's a lot of foods around us that aren't necessarily the best things for us, right? Health-wise, there's a lot of processed foods, there's a lot of sweets, there's a lot of sugar, fried foods, foods that are high in sodium, high in carbs. And in that, it's like, what do I do? How do I deal with this? How do I make the right choices? And if you didn't listen to last week's episode, I highly encourage you to watch it. I talk about how to actually eat for holidays, gatherings, and special occasions. I also have a free resource that I'm extending through the holidays that I want to give you. So in the description there at the end of today's episode, feel free to download your free resource on how to manage your food choices to help you stay healthy during the holiday season. But back to the days after, right? We just went through Thanksgiving, and the days after a holiday or a gathering or a heavy eating day are very crucial. Because, like I said, shame is often an emotion that is driving us or beating us up after a set gathering or special moment, special occasion in our life when we realize, oh my gosh, I may have overate. I may have binge ate. I may have stress ate. I may have emotionally ate. I may have ate one or two more cookies or sweets than I had wanted. I may have overindulged on this casserole that just looked incredible and I didn't want to do it, but I did it. And we end up falling into specific traps that I want to talk about today. So let's evaluate, what is shame? Because I think it's important to recognize exactly what it is so that we can evaluate, am I in there? Am I in this place? Because if we don't recognize where we're at, well, we won't know what changes to possibly make, or if I need to make some changes or work on something in myself or learn something from this situation to then overcome it and become better or grow, right? So according to the dictionary, shame is a painful feeling, okay? It's an emotion. It's a feeling that we have of humiliation. I want to stop there for a moment. When we make a choice that sometimes we don't want to make, or it's a choice that maybe was an unwanted choice, it's a choice that we aren't happy with, it is a choice that we end up regretting, there is a sense of humiliation, meaning we ourselves humiliate what we have just done. Based on what we did, we humiliate ourselves, blaming or criticizing or judging, condemning ourselves for what we have done. So it is a painful feeling of humiliation or distress. So we have humiliation and distress, meaning now, as I've been humiliated, also, this distress feeling of, it could be anxiety, it could be of just frustration, it could be of anger, it could be of this uneasy state in us that comes from it. So, painful feeling of humiliation, you either push yourself down, belittle yourself, make yourself feel less than, or you beat yourself up in this state of anger, talking bad about yourself, maybe feeling frustrated with yourself, ultimately judging yourself, right? And then it says, here is a big piece of information for us to take away. Caused by the consciousness of wrong or foolish behavior. And this is important to look at, because now it gives us like what is bringing all of this humiliation and distress, right? Is a consciousness of wrong or foolish behavior. Behavior is anything that we do, right? Our actions that we take towards something. And when we're looking at food specifically during the holiday seasons, I mean, look, everything typically that we do is going to lead us to a behavior. Things around us is going to produce a behavior, right? It's going to lead us to make a choice about something, right? If you find yourself, you're working too many hours and you can't prepare for a gathering, or you don't have time to go shopping, or whatever it is, it's going to produce something in you, and that is your behavior. And when we're in this state during the holidays, oftentimes, if we don't know how to make proper choices that we are satisfied with, that we desire, that we want, that we could say, this is what I'd like to do in regards to food choices and health, because remember, your food choices are going to be a direct extension of your health. It's going to be the outcome that is going to be produced. Because I've talked about it in the past. Why is food so important? Well, because it impacts so much about us. It impacts how we feel. It impacts our thoughts. It impacts our emotions. It impacts our mood. It impacts our behavior. It impacts our performance. It impacts our attention span. It impacts us physiologically, right? It ends up deciding how we're going to look and how we're going to be shaped. And it also starts to impact the way we think. Now, this is profound when we look at food in this way, understanding what is food, right? Understanding the components or the complexity of what food does to us. So when we're evaluating the holiday season, when we are surrounded by a lot of these foods that simply may not be the best choice, because I believe, look, we can there's nothing we cannot eat. However, not all foods benefit us always, right? I believe that we can enjoy foods that may not be so good for us, right? I don't like to label them as good or bad, but you know what I mean. Whether they're high in sugar, high in salt, fried foods, processed foods, things that we know don't have nutrients or the adequate amount of nutrients to nourish us and help us perform at our best. That is really what it is. So I believe we can enjoy all the things, but when we're in this place and we don't know how to manage our choices with food, because maybe our relationship with food isn't a healthy relationship or isn't a relationship that is leading us to success in the realm of health, our psychological understanding of what food is a bit distorted. So when we're surrounded, our environment is offering us all of these things, right? It's very easy to fall into traps, and it's very easy to allow two things to drive our food choices. And I want to drive this home before I jump into the component of really how to eliminate shame. One, we make choices based on emotions, how we feel. There was a nationwide study that was done, and they found out that 86 to 88% of Americans all admitted to stress eating or emotionally eating. That is huge. We look at stress, it's an emotional that then produces a physiological response, right? It's an emotional behavior. It's driven by emotion, then it's produced through a physiological expression. Emotional eating, it deals with our emotions. So therefore, most choices or most reasons or the way most people make their choices during the holiday season, I would even say year round, but specifically during the holidays, is really based on emotions. If they're angry, they might go to food to release it. If they're sad, they typically go to food to release it. Or if they have uneasiness or they're just not happy, they usually look for food to comfort. Why? Because it produces so many physiological and chemical responses in us that make us feel good, right? We get dopamine through food. We get serotonin through food. We get all of these feel-good feelings that will sometimes lead us to overindulge, to not recognize, yeah, I probably shouldn't be eating so much of this. Yeah, that choice probably isn't a choice that I want to make because it's not in line with who I want to be, with the life I want to have, with the person I want to become, with the lifestyle I want to have. So yeah, I probably shouldn't make that choice. We don't process that oftentimes. It's more of, that looks great, which leads me to the second way of most of us make choices when we don't have this healthy relationship with food is we eat with our eyes. We allow our eyes to make the decision for us, which then we say, oh my gosh, why did I serve myself so much food, right? It looked so beautiful. It looked incredible. Everything looked so great. So what do? We serve it on our plate. We think, oh yeah, this is great. This is what I want to eat. And then we realize, oh my gosh, I just ate all this food. Why did I do it? One, I didn't want to eat it all. Or two, we just realized, oh my gosh, I served myself way too much. Now I feel excessively bloated. Now I feel like crap. I don't want this anymore. So for these two reasons is why we oftentimes fall into specific food traps, right? And if you want to learn how to really manage yourself, to take control of your food choices, to not allow your emotions to dictate the food choices you should make, and how to not allow your eyes to dictate what food choices you should make, I highly recommend download the free resource that I have there in the description. Do it after the episode so that you can get all the insight on how to do that. I break it down for you in a beautiful, simple process so that you can get the insight you need to crush it during the holiday season. So when we're making choices based on emotion and we're making choices based on how we see or based on our eyes, afterwards, the common feeling for most people is shame, embarrassment, guilt, right? And even they condemn themselves. They judge themselves. They bash themselves, right? They become very negative towards themselves because of what they have done. So how do we eliminate that? Well, one, we want to establish a game plan, right? So that we don't fall into maybe unwanted food choices, so that we don't have to deal with that in the first place. But let's say you end up getting there anyways. Maybe you don't prepare that game plan and there's still a part of you that falls into this, or you do prepare the game plan, but there's still things that you just didn't feel happy with. Man, I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have overate here. I shouldn't have gone out with my friends so late at night, right? I shouldn't have drank so much alcohol, because that's another one. I haven't even talked about alcohol, but alcohol is a big one that is surrounded during the holiday season. And with alcohol, it's very easy to overindulge, right? And it's very easy to rack up calories or unwanted calories, unnecessary calories, simply by drinking a bit too much wine, a bit too much beer, a bit too much liquor, right? So we want to gauge that as well, because it's all about everything that we consume, what we eat, what we drink. They're all directly impacting our health. So if we find ourselves in shame, oftentimes when I've interviewed people or had conversations with people, what happens is they already are going into a specific gathering, a specific special event, a specific special moment in their life, wherever they're going out with the family. They're already going in believing that they are going to mess up. They go in with fear. They go in with stress. They go in with concern. And because of all that, that simply directs them to all of the things that they were not wanting to do. So what is one way we can start eliminating shame? Well, shame comes from, in my belief, from wrong believing. Meaning you're believing wrong about yourself, right? And in that, it's you are conscious about messing up. You are conscious about screwing up. You are conscious about making a mistake. You are conscious about overeating. You are conscious about the things that you know maybe in the past you've always done. So when we're conscious about, I'm going to mess up again, conscious about, oh my gosh, there's all this food here, I'm going to end up overeating. I don't even know what to eat. I'm going to mess up. This is going to be a waste. I'm going to screw up. We are already going in to that particular place defeated. We're already going with the wrong state of mind. We're going in with the wrong belief. So when we're conscious about making a mistake, we're conscious about the wrongdoings that we're gonna make, even though we haven't created them yet, we haven't made the choices yet, but we're going based on past experiences, right? We're jumping to conclusion based on something or past evidence that we have of ourselves. And that is a very dangerous trap to be in. That is a very dangerous thinking trap. Right? So when we're in this place, that's going to then lead us to wrong believing about ourselves. Meaning, the belief might be, I just can't control my eating. I just don't know how to eat right. I just love sugar. That's just who I am. I can't change that about me. Right? The belief about yourself. Maybe being an unhealthy person, maybe being an overweight person. I'm never going to be able to release this weight, so screw it. Why even care? Let's just eat up the world. Let's just eat up everything in sight. So this wrong belief about yourself leads us to make the choices before we even get there. We are already now releasing this out to everything within your body, within your subconscious, that then will manifest in the conscious to lead you to literally make those choices. So we've got to reevaluate. What am I thinking of? What are you thinking? What am I thinking about myself? What am I believing about myself? What am I believing about food? What am I believing about my health? What am I believing about the holidays? What am I believing about when I go to gatherings? What am I believing when I go out to buffets? What am I believing when I see all of these desserts around me? Am I in a wrongdoing conscious state? Am I in a messing up conscious state? Am I in a defeated conscious state? Because if we're in this place, don't be surprised if you keep on repeating the same behavior. You keep on making the same choices that then later you beat yourself up for them. You feel shame, you feel guilty, you feel embarrassed. Why did I do it again? Why did I do it again? That is a conversation that I have with many. It's like, I don't know why, I don't want to do it, but I end up doing it. I end up doing it anyways. Yeah, because we're basing who we are and our belief about ourselves and what's going to happen when we go to these places or when we make the choices, they're already in line with defeat based on past experiences. So we've got to remove that. And how do we remove that? Well, we remove that about changing our belief about ourselves. It helps to have an understanding, a game plan, right, that we can bring to us, that we can learn to do so that it can help us maybe change certain things about us, help us make better choices, help us gain insight as to how not to make certain choices. It really helps us, right? So with that said, it's reevaluating these beliefs. And how can we start then changing those beliefs? Look, I'm a big believer in affirmations. Now, I want to say something very clear here as I come to a close. When I say affirmations, it's not this feeling of just speak things out and they will manifest, and like this very this mystical or unrealistic form of viewing affirmations. The way I believe affirmations are executed, well, first, what is an affirmation? Well, we're affirming something that we want. We are affirming something that we are choosing to believe about ourselves that we desire, that maybe today isn't there, that maybe today isn't real, that maybe today isn't realistic just yet. And it's not about being a hypocrite, because I have people say, well, I can't say that because then if I say that, I'm just being a hypocrite. No. I mean, if you're choosing to believe that you by saying that is you being a hypocrite, then that's on you. I can't change that, right? You're already going into this defeated. But the way we establish new beliefs is by hearing something new or a truth that we would like to be true for ourselves. In the way you are, in who you are, in a certain area of your life. So the affirmation is stating a new truth that you would like to have about yourself, or you would like it to be about you, and it's you believing that this that you are stating, that you are affirming, is true and will become true. That is really important here. It is, I believe it is true, and I believe it will become true. So it's not that you're being a hypocrite. It's not that you're living delusional. It's that you are literally believing that what I am stating to now be true about me, even though it's not true yet, will and is going to be true as I declare this. If we are making a choice of, I'm going to affirm this new truth about me, I'm going to believe it, and then I'm going to walk out believing that it is true, then it becomes true, right? Why? Because now we're doing something about it. Now we are taking action towards it, right? The knowledge of this new belief in action is going to then manifest that. So how do we do this then? Let's start changing some beliefs about yourself. What are you believing about yourself? Let's start reestablishing some affirmations, and let's start declaring this during this holiday season. I do not overeat. I have control of the foods I choose to eat. That is a great affirmation that you can write out, that you can start declaring. And as you declare, then now you start putting that into practice, right? Taking the resource guide that I have for you that teaches you how to serve a plate, how to have portion controls, to learn the portion controls for yourself. Then you start to practice that, okay? I'm not a person that overeats. I have control and make the proper food choices that I want. Okay, boom. What is that? Now I start to make those proper food choices. Now, as I affirm that, as I speak it, and then I reestablish that, right? I reconfirm that in the doing of it is how then it starts to become your new reality. Another affirmation is I don't go to sweets to deal with my emotions. I don't you choose food to deal with my emotions. I go for a walk instead. I listen to music instead. I go play with my kids instead. I laugh instead. Whatever that might be for you. So these affirmations are, what would I like to do? What would I like to be? What is that person? What would I want to start believing about myself to be true? I have control of my health. I make good choices when it comes to food. I am an active, fit, strong person. And then we choose to live that out, right? We go for walks. We find a partner that we can maybe go to a local gym and do some exercise together. Or we find a community that we can plug into to do some type of activity, go for hikes, right? Find a partner that you could do things at a local community center. But I'm going to affirm, I'm going to establish this affirmation. This is who I am. This is my nature. I make good food choices. I exercise regularly. I don't allow stress of the holidays to take control. I take control of my emotions. I take control of my feelings. We are affirming a new truth that you desire about yourself, believing that it is true, believing that you are that. And then we exercise it. We execute it, right? So this is how we start to eliminate the shame. This is how we start to deal with this shame, okay? So if today you find yourself in this state, look, don't beat yourself up. Stop shaming yourself. Stop criticizing yourself. Stop bad-mouthing yourself. Stop tearing yourself down. That will not change anything. All it's doing is reaffirming the truth about yourself. By you doing that, you're reaffirming that you should be a person of shame. You should be a person that is judged. You should be living this life. You should be having all of these destructive things or dealing with these pains or dealing with all of this devastation. Got to stop that. We got to start taking control of the words that we are speaking and start changing those words into new beliefs that you desire so that you can start changing that about you. And as I close, one thing we want to avoid is falling into a careless mindset. If maybe you've made some wrong food choices, oftentimes we get into this careless mindset of just saying, okay, well, since I already messed up, screw it. I'm just going to eat the whole week bad. I'm going to make wrong food choices anyway. Let's go have the pizza. Let's go do this. Let's go do that. Let's go buffet. Let's go overindulge. And we take this careless mindset through the rest of the year. And what I want you to know is that one day that you may mess up, one wrong choice or wrong choices that you made one day do not dictate who you are or what your life is going to become. It doesn't dictate your identity. It doesn't dictate your essence. So we've got to understand that all we got to do is shake it off, recognize what can I learn? What can I gain from this experience? What did I do that I could maybe do better, differently this time around? Learn from this experience, shake it off. If you are feeling angry, you're feeling whatever you're feeling about yourself, embrace it, acknowledge it, but then release it, shake it off, and then get back on track. Get back on your daily nutrition. If you need help with that and you don't know what that should look like for you, I'm here to support you in that. Get back into your activities. Get back into your exercise. Get back into your morning routine. Get back into your evening routine. Get back into your daily activity. And if you don't know what to do, again, let me support you in that. Drop in the comment section there if you have any need or any questions about that. I'm here to support you. And this is how we start to eliminate shame. We start to deal with it so that we can overcome it and be able to enjoy the holiday season. And in that, leading us to the new year to enjoy every moment of our life, because I believe, look, when you live healthy and health is a foundation for you, you will enjoy life. Living healthy is about enjoying, about being happy, about being joyful, about being a person that you are happy with. And that is what I am here to reaffirm and to help you get on track with that. If you want information about affirmations, look, I'm putting together, I've got an affirmation breakdown that I'd like to share with you, right? If you would like more information about these affirmations, if you'd like to get a list of amazing affirmations that I've put together, that I have, drop in the comment section there if you would like it, and I'd be more than happy to share that with you, be more than happy to get you that resource for you. Look, I just want you to know that I'm here to support you. And remember, free resource guide on how to eat for holidays, gatherings, and special occasions is down in the description. So click the description, click the link there so that you can get your copy. And if you missed last week's episode, go watch it. You should be able to find it somewhere here on the video. I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let me know what you thought about today's episode. Was it helpful? What were your takeaways? Did you enjoy it? Drop it in the comment section so that I can continue to put together content that brings value to your life. As I close, if you haven't joined my community, every Friday, I have free Friday trainings for you. And that's part of my community. I'd love for you to be a part of the community. I'm going to be talking more about affirmations in our community. I'm going to be talking about more of specific things that will help your health journey, help you live a life of freedom through health. So join the community. If you haven't already joined it, you can find all that information in the description. Just click the link and you will get all the information there. My friends, I love you. Thank you for the privilege. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for allowing me to connect with you and come into your home or into your car or wherever you are listening to me. Thank you so much. And if you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, I would be grateful if you did so. Click the subscribe button. And I also recommend you to click the bell so you can get all the notifications of our up and coming episodes. And if you're listening to me on your favorite podcast station and you haven't already followed, click the follow button so you don't miss an episode. I love you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Know that I am here for you. I'm here to support you. If we haven't connected on social, let's do that. You can do it on my handle at Dave K. Hernandez, at Dave K. Hernandez. If you want to know more about myself, how I can help you through your health journey to live a life of freedom, check out my website. You can book a call there. I'd love to have a conversation with you. www.davidhernandez.co, davidhernandez.co. And also feel free to shoot me an email if you have any questions, david@davidhernandez.co, david@davidhernandez.co. You can find all that here at the bottom of the videos. My friends, I love you. Go out, crush it, and live your best life. Remember, you are incredible. I will see you on the next episode.